Welcome to Watkins, Glen. My God, I can't speak, I promise. My name is Sam Cooper Bennett. We are here with NASCOM Online. And I am here filling in for Byron Rodney, who's away dealing with personal problems. Byron, hoping things are okay in your area and hope to have you back soon. But nevertheless, I am here for the next round of the NASCOM Online Series, and we hit our second road course of the season. And we are at the picturesque Watkins Glen International Circuit for another race here. And Mark Arthur has been very fast already in this practice session, hoping to get another good practice session, another successful road course under his belt, as we see one spinning out across the turn one complex. There goes Mark Arthur in the screen. But anyway, we're here at Watkins Glen, the site of the 6 Hours of the Glen. If we go back to what we saw on ESBN a few weeks back. So we are just getting into qualifying. Before I do that and go into it ourselves, we are just going to give a mention to iRacing iFlag. Let's go to iRacingIFlag.com and see what they have to offer. And if you do decide to buy something on them, remember to put in the promo code esports2019 and you will get 15% off your very own iFlag. So why not you get yourself to iRacingIFlag.com today and get your very own iFlag for 15% off. With that, let's do it now. Let's get into it. Qualifying is underway. And we've already got times starting. Well, we've already got drivers out on track, so why not let's get into it and get things underway here. I keep repeating myself, I don't know why. So let's get into it then, shall we? We are here for K&N cars around the Watkins Glen circuit. And we are going to focus in on Sam Baumgarten, who's out on track right now in that number 53 machine, just making his way through the switchbacks there, the last two corners of the circuit. Into the final turn he goes. Take a look at the paint scheme on this car. Very attractive there. Brutal bushes. Oh, brutal business. Sorry, Sam. Didn't mean to butcher the name on the car there, but that's brutal business on his car, and he's hoping to do brutal business here tonight as he makes his way around the track. Let's put the qualifying times up as they come in. So there they are. Down towards the bus stop chicane he goes now. Into the carousel. We've still not had a time in by anybody yet. Off tracks are a thing around here, so if you get an off track or if you hit anything or even if you spin out, your time will not be counted. And who can get that first time in now? We're still focused on Sam Baumgarten, who's literally on a fly right now. Let's see what he can put down here as he comes through the final corner. As Doug Thompson sets the benchmark here with a 1:12.279. Expecting Sam Baumgarten to be fast here. And he sets a 1:11.354. That is the time to beat right now. As we're going to focus on Brian McRae. Winner from last week. As Adam Chapman puts a time in of a 1:12.133. Let's focus in on him. And he's running a special scheme as well tonight. Paying tribute to the lives that were lost in Texas today. Very sad situation there. Hopefully it can... hopefully the world is... sparing a fault for them tonight. As we're watching James Bunt out on track there. He just set a 1:12.795. Making his way out of the carousel. We're still waiting for another time. Kevin O'Brien sets a time there in the number 84. But James Bunce just making his way up through the last couple of corners of the track. Taking it easy. Not really getting himself into any trouble here as he comes to the final corner now. And Brian McRae slots into third place, I might add. As across the line comes Bunce, and Bunce goes into P6. Kyle Wellman in the 24, he drops into P2. Good for him there. Time's still coming in thick and fast. We have Ashton Schleiss out on track in the Icebreakers, number 68. And Schleiss did go to the top of the board on that lap as well with a 1:10.773. Oh, almost a second quicker than Sam Baumgarten. So great time there for Schleiss, the rookie, having a very impressive first season here. Let's go to our points leader though. That is Mark Arthur. He's out on track in the My Little Pony number 12. And we have got a very good field for tonight's race. So definitely looking forward to this one. Tyler Gary on his return to the series goes to the top with a 1:10.264, so great time for him. Out of the final turn comes Mark Arthur. What time is he going to put down this time by as he crosses the line? Goes straight to the top of the board with a 1:09.704. Absolutely lighting up the timing sheets right now. Oh, go away. Apologies there. As he comes out on track once again, Ty Marasco jumps into P5. A very interesting paint scheme on the 14. Let's take a look at his car. Driving the Sweethearts. Number 14 as he brushes the barrier coming up through the S's. Blake Decker drops into P5. Dalton Kilroe out on track. Not driving a monster scheme here tonight. Driving something a bit different as he negotiates his way through the bus stop. Not used to seeing him in such a different paint scheme. Kyle Gilbert, Tex Perry, Tyler Duggan and Gene Mintz yet to set a time here tonight. Same for Dalton Kilroe, but Kilroe is out on his fast lap right now as he makes his way through the final two corners. And I'm going to do something cheeky. I'm going to refresh trading paints because I'm pretty sure that's not his proper paint scheme. Russ Charnesky's just making his way out of pit road just there. As we're still seeing them circulate around the track. And Russ Charnesky, one of the championship leaders going into tonight. He is been on a fine run this season. And damn near unstoppable in some cases, but Mark Arthur has been on another level to him. So what can Charnesky do for the remainder of the season to get himself up there? Only time will tell, and that is actually Dalton Kilroe's paint scheme, so I was right. There's Adam Chapman's car in the background. Ty Gary in the Irwin number 26. Take a look at it. Take a look at his paint scheme. Very nice paint scheme on his car. We're just over a minute in qualifying. Let's go on board with Tyler Gary as he makes his way around the track here. Makes his way for the bus stop. Another lap completed for Tyler Gary as he gets a 109.992 on that lap, so good time for him. So qualifying just winding down now. We are coming to the last couple of seconds in the qualifying session as Kyle Gilbert is out on track right now. And just in the cool down period now, we are just over a minute and a half. We are a minute and a half to the end of qualifying. What can Kyle Gilbert put down now as he crosses the line for his one and only lap here tonight? That would be absolutely nothing. Fails to set a lap time. As James Bunce is doing some donuts in the on the outside of turn 1. And the red-rated auto parts number 22. There you go, Bunty. There's a screenshot for you. Well, before you disappeared. Anyway, qualifying is done. We are about to get things going right here now. So Mark Arthur will be your man on the pole for this race. So while Kyle Gilbert makes his way around the track, let's go to our grid for tonight's race. And starting up on the pole will be Mark Arthur. He'll be joined by Tyler Gary on the front row. Row 2 will be Ashton Schleiss and Kyle Wellman. Row 3 will be Sam Baumgarten and Blake Decker. Row 4 will be Adam Chapman. A good time for him in P7 and Ty Marasco. And row 5 will be James Bunce and Brian McRae, winner from last week. Row 6 will be Doug Thompson and Russ Charneski. Row 7 will be Kevin O'Brien and Dalton Kilroe. Row 8 will be Tex Perry and Tyler Duggan. And row 9 will be Gene Mintz and, well, let's go through that again, shall we? Because of the people that didn't take a time. Let's go through that one. So 15th and 16th will be Carl Gilbert and Tyler Duggan. 17th and 18th will be Tex Perry of the 4 drivers that did not take a time here tonight. So with the race about to get underway, we have 50 laps here. No stages for this one. So an interesting decision there by the league management, but it's a good one in my book because you get straight racing for the whole 50 laps. And that is all right in my book. So we've got people lining up on the field, on the track here. Got the Porsche pace car there out on track. Mark Arthur is they're lining up now. Everybody else just getting ready for today's race. And who's going to win it? You've got to say Mark Arthur is the favourite, but Tyler Gary, it wasn't that far behind. It was the gap was less than a second, and I think it was less than half a second in the end. So expect those two to be fighting up at the front, but anything could happen in these 50 laps. And these 50 laps will go quickly. 1 minute and 9 seconds around the track. They're expecting around just over an hour of racing here. As I take another drink, I'm getting myself ready for this race, as everybody else should be. It is what's known as going to be an absolute barn burner. I'm starting to copy Byron with his that's what's known as. That's his becoming a bit of his catchphrase lately. Byron, we are missing you this week, buddy. I hope everything's all right for you where you are, and hopefully we'll have you back next week. But For this week, we do have K&M Racing action with myself in the booth as they all start rolling down towards turn 1 on the pace lap here. Watch for the back of the field. We've got Kyle Gilbert back there. And he's always fast no matter what track you put him on. And Ty Gary has pulled off. I believe he wants to start at the back of the field, which is well within his rights to do. So that's going to promote Ashton Schleiss up to 2nd place, I believe. And Kyle Wellman, actually no, Kyle Wellman's going to take over 2nd place and Schleiss is going to slot into 3rd. Tyler Gary has rejoined the back of the field, so he's going to make it interesting for himself here. There goes the 27 of Tyler Duggan. Back in the front as they make their way towards the bus stop. You can see these cars have been modified specifically for road racing. You see how high they are off the ground. That is to cope with the rumble strips around here. The rumble strips can catch you out though if you catch them too much, and will send you spinning around, so it's not wise to get too much of a wheel on them. As they pass the entrance to the boot, and they're making their way down the cup section of the track. Well, the stock car section, the NASCAR section, I don't know what they call it. Into the final 2 corners, and we are about to get this thing going. The pace car will not take long to get onto pit road. That will leave the field in the hands of one Mr. Mark Arthur. As they make their way out of the final corner, there goes the pace car. And we are underway here at Watkins Glen. 50 laps have begun right now. And into turn 1 they go. Such troubles for everybody. Everybody making it around. Clearly, no! 1 around. We've got 1 around, and that's Dalton Kilrow in trouble. Problems there for the 41. Let's go back as Doug Thompson actually started in pit road. See everybody making a run down towards turn 1. Dalton Kilrow. Oh, just got too much of the rumble strips, as I already mentioned. That will hurt you. Just a slight tap on the barrier. But he's back underway and he's racing it out with Doug Thompson right now. Back at the front though. Mark Arthur's already started to stretch his legs, and now Ashton Schleiss is up to 2nd place, and Kyle Wellman falling to 3rd, and there's Sam Baumgarten off in the background. Big wreck for Sam Baumgarten. Let's go back and take a look there for the man in the 53. He got side by side with Adam Chapman. Bit too much bodywork taken up, and it wasn't really a wreck. He just spun it around on the entrance to the boot. And that's going to put him to the back of the field. No harm, no foul, but that's not going to please him at all. So, all the action going off in the midfield here as we see Tyler Gary racing out with Ty Marasco as Gary already up to P6 right now. We've got 1 sliding around the S's, but not going off, as we see the battle now between Gary and Chapman right now going down the long straight here towards the bus stop. We see the damage on Chapman's car from the contact he had with Sam Baumgarten. Everybody looks like they've made it through the bus stop okay. Not too bad. Russ Charnaski back there in P12. Let's go back to Tyler Gary. He's already got around Adam Chapman. Now he's going to set his sights on Blake Decker, who's a bit further up the road there. Fighting out with Kyle Wellman for the 3rd spot here as they come through the final corner. And what can Decker do here? He's had a pretty good start already, made his way up to P4, but Ty Gary, remember he fell back on that on the pace lap decided to start from the back. He's already up to P5 now. As we've got problems with Brian McRae. Brian McRae in pit road, last week's winner. And he's got into it with somebody. And Kyle Gilbert going off as well. And he hits James Bunce. And Bunce ends up in the barrier. And round goes Kevin O'Brien as well. And Doug Thompson unable to avoid it. I think there's Kevin O'Brien wrecking there as well. And Doug Thompson, I believe that might have been McRae's fault. He did start moving around. He didn't wait for the whole field to get around him. Let's go take another look at that. And you see there, started to do the spin around while the last two drivers were around on track. Kyle Gilbert is in pit road as well. Let's take a look and see what happened to him. So he was going off just at the same time as the melee was happening behind him. And he went straight on into the wall, it seems. Some technical issues for the man in the 227. No such worries for this man, Mark Arthur. Currently leading this thing. He's got Ashton Schleiss right behind him. They are starting to gap Blake Decker. The gap is now 6 seconds. He's up to third. Look at this battle he's having with Tyler Gary. And we seem to have lost some people here. Tex Perry's out of this race. Russ Charneski has fallen back as well, but he's just making his way into pit road. Doug Thompson is still out on track though, despite that damage. There was James Bunce. Carl Wellman has fallen back as well. He's down in P8 now. But Tyler Gary already dispatched now Blake Decker. Carl Wellman was battling with Blake Decker for that third spot. Fell back. I'm not sure what happened to him, but he's right behind Tyler Duggan right now. And has been caught by Dalton Kilroe. Remember, Kilroe had that spin on lap 1 in turn 1. He's already made his way up to the top 10. Russ Charneski is out of this race already. So unfortunate situation for him. And that's not going to help him with the championship points either. He will be safely, more or less safely, into the playoffs now. So not going to be too concerned about that. But that points lead going into the playoffs, very important. As Dalton Kilroe gets a bit out of shape coming out of turn 1, and that's going to let Sam Baumgarten get close to him. Not really any battles to speak of right now. Let's go back to Doug Thompson, who's still got that damage from when he hit Brian McRae. McRae is back out on track again. Actually, he's back in pit road again. So he's got more troubles to deal with right there. Kyle Gilbert is out. Russ Charneski is out. Tex Perry was in pit road, but is back out again. And the We Are Marshall number 85 is racing right behind Gene Mintz right there, who's driving the number 10. And Gene Mintz slowing down and nearly caught Tex Perry napping there. Let's go back to Ty Gary. That's Blake Decker. Let's go back to Ty Gary, because now he's up to third place. He's got some breathing room to really let those horses loose underneath the Ford Fusion he's driving tonight. Go figure. And now can he close the gap to Ashton Schleiss, who'll be his next target. The gap is already down to 5.5 seconds. And the Crown Royal and Irwin number 26. As he makes his way out the final corner, Ashton Schleiss has fallen away a bit from Mark Arthur. And we've got more problems for Gene Mintz. He goes off in turn 1. And he goes a lap down from Mark Arthur. Ashton Schleiss going to follow him through as well. So Gene Mintz not having a very good return to the series, as Doug Thompson came into pit road to get that damage fixed. And it is fixed now. It looks like he might have taken this fast repair already, which is unlike Doug Thompson, as you see Mark Arthur making his way through the bus stop chicane here. There's Ashton Schleiss there in the Icebreaker 68. Having a pretty decent race for himself. Carl Gilbert is back in this race, by the way. Just coming down the pit road right now. Kevin O'Brien having a few connection problems. There's James Bunce right now. As I believe he's not pitted yet. Still got that damage on the front of that 22. Tyler Duggan just in front of him. So everybody's spread out right now. Not really any battles to speak of, unless you're Adam Chapman. And he's got Doug Thompson right behind him, although Doug Thompson is a lap down. Chapman running a very decent race. He's just he's 5 seconds off the top 5 right now. Got a bit of damage from the contact he had with Sam Baumgarten earlier. Speaking of Baumgarten, he's right there. He's coming up behind him. As he has got Dalton Kilrow right behind him. And believe it or not, oh, as Kilrow gets out of shape again out of turn 1. Not enjoying that corner at all is the man in the 41. Glad to see you enjoying the stream here, Southern Outlaw. We were enjoying it too, as surprisingly Dalton Kilrow was actually caught back up to Sam Baumgarten. Now Baumgarten actually got around Kilrow, and Kilrow is not enjoying turn 1, but the rest of the track is having a whale of a time as they come out of the carousel down towards the final 2 corners. Kilrow's right on the tail of Baumgarten again now, as G. Mintz goes off again. Looking from behind Sam Baumgarten's car as they go towards turn 1. Let's see if Kilrow actually gets turn 1 right this time. And he does, takes it easy. Up through the S's now. As the back off through the S's, that might give Kilrow a bit of a speed boost there as he gets the draft going down towards the bus stop. We're going to keep on this camera as they go through the bus stop and see if Kilrow can get any closer. And Kilrow does get a bit closer there. You see it there on your screen. As they get around Kyle Wellman. Wellman having problems himself. If I can find out what happened to Wellman. Going for the bus stop here, and I think he might have got a slowdown. It was a bit shaky going into the carousel. Ran very wide actually, and into the tyre barrier. So completely missed his braking point and just went straight on. That let Baumgarten and Kilrow get through. And now Wellman is now found himself in a 3-way battle for 7th place. Meanwhile, a bit further up, Ty Marasco has come to the back of Blake Decker. The Sweethearts number 14, the blue and pink machine, as Marasco gets it all wrong going into the carousel. That's going to let Blake Decker get away a little bit now. Into the final corner they go. Marasco still trying to close the gap despite that mistake for the carousel. Doing everything he can to get to the back of Decker, as Kevin O'Brien having a battle with Tex Perry now. Tex Perry just got the pass done on him. Let's go back and see what happened here. Going up for the S's. Tex Perry a huge amount of speed here. Going out towards the bus stop, and you see the pass was done there. So Kevin O'Brien now finds himself behind Tex Perry, but look who's right behind him. That is Mark Arthur right there. Mark Arthur now up to a 5-second lead. Ashton Schleiss now might be in a bit of danger because look, he's sort of the far left of your screen there. Tyler Gary is not that far behind now. The gap is 2.2 seconds between Gary and Decker. We're seeing a battle still going on here as Kilroe has fallen behind Kyle Wellman now. Let's see what's happened to him. As he was drafted behind Sam Baumgarten going into the bus stop. And it looks like he got it all wrong. And yep, took a trip for the grass on the exit. Got a slow down penalty. Had to fall behind Kyle Wellman there. But now he's 1 second behind Wellman. As Kilroe goes off. Back of Baumgarten again. And, oh, the battle between Marasco and Decker getting very close. And it looks like Marasco might have passed him on the outside of the bus stop there. Let's get confirmation of that. Gets a big run alongside him going towards the bus stop. A lot of speed. Breaks a lot later than Decker. Decker gets a little bit spooked there, but Marasco able to get the move done on the outside. It was the inside to the exit, but the outside entrance outside to the exit, and Marasco getting the job done there, moving up to P4. A great move there in the Sweethearts number 14. Meanwhile, back to this battle for P7 here. Baumgarten still holding on to that position. Kyle Wellman is right there. Dalton Kilroe fell back a little bit, but he's actually closed the gap again. The battle is starting to brew between Schleiss and Gary. We'll go to that in a minute as the gap is now less than 2 seconds. But this battle's getting really spicy now between Baumgarten and Wellman. Remember, Wellman fell back a little bit after hitting the barrier in the carousel as Dalton Kilroe gets a bit out of shape in turn 1 once again. And since then, Wellman's been playing catch-up, and now it's finally got to the back of Baumgarten. What can he do down here as they come out of the S's down the straight towards the bus stop? Going to cross him over here. A great switch back there as he's going to go into the bus stop very hard, and he's going to get it all wrong, and contact between Baumgarten and Wellman. And that ended in disaster for both of them, really. As Wellman went into it very hot there. Looks like he tried to stop it, got a bit sideways, got it all wrong, and Baumgarten just got into the side of him and switched him around. More damage for Baumgarten there. As now, Dalton Kilroe and Baumgarten are going to battle it out for 7th place, and Kilroe going to come out on top of this one now after that incident. So, major implications in this race already for some people, but one person that's going to be having a big battle here now very soon is this man, Ashton Schleiss. He's coming out of the carousel. Look who's right behind him now. Tyler Gary has caught up to the back of that 68 machine. And we're going to have a battle for 2nd place brewing right now. At the final turn, as Schleiss is actually going to bring a pit side, so we're going to have the first legitimate pit stop starting right now. And I'm going to take the figure down for this one, as we're going to look for Schleiss to hit his pit marker here. How long is he going to be in his pit box? Oh, overshoots it a little bit. Might not be so bad on a road course, but he's in there anyway. You're going to take left sides and right sides. Unlike an oval, you take the left sides first and then the right side second. And he's down and away. 14.6 seconds for the man in the 68. Hopefully that will help him out with the long run, but that overshoot there in pit box Probably won't hurt him as he comes out alongside Adam Chapman. Anyway, let's go back to a battle we've been watching with in the corner of our eye. This is between Blake Decker and Ty Marasco. Decker has not let Marasco get away. And while the pit stop was going on, you saw on the right hand side of your screen, they were side by side going down the start-finish straight. They have gapped each other a little bit. Marasco able to get away slightly as they're coming up to G Mintz now. And the Frios number 10. And look at Blake Decker now right on the back of Ty Marasco as they go into the final corner. And Marasco is going to bring a pit side. Decker is going to continue. Tyler Gary is in pit road as well. Now let's see how his pit stop goes. And he overshoots his pit box by a lot. And yeah, sorry for the language there. Bit of a slip of the old tongue. Right side's going on now. And Tyler Gary will be down and away. 14.1 in his box. Here comes Ty Marasco now in his box. And he can't get it right. He's got it all wrong going into his pit box. That is going to cost him a ton of time. As he finally gets it right now. And that is not going to help him with his fight with Blake Decker. As here comes Sam Baumgarten into pit road as well now. Down and away is Ty Marasco, but you've got to say that's hurt him quite a bit now. Sam Baumgarten in pit road as well now. He's taken a fast repair, so he'll be back up to speed once we leave pit road, and that's a 14.3 for him. Good stop for him. As we're still waiting for Mark Arthur and Blake Decker to bring it down, as Mark Arthur actually making his way up through the S's. Blake Decker is actually coming down the final turn as he's bringing it pit side as well now. And let's focus in on Blake Decker. How is this going to do with him relative to Ty Marasco? There goes Ashton Schleitz. That was pretty obvious. He was going to hold on to that second place. And Schleitz actually got out ahead of Tyler Gary. So good for him. So there is Blake Decker in pit road. Will Ty Marasco beat him out of pit road? Who knows? As there goes Blake Decker now. Now we're looking for Ty Marasco. Where is Marasco? Marasco's just making his way into turn one. So Blake Decker wins the race out through the pit stops with Marasco. And you got to think that that big mistake by Marasco was what hurt him in the long run. And was never going to help him with the battle through the pit stops. Here's Mark Arthur now. The race leader. As he gets the right sides on, he's down and away very quick as 14.7 in his box. So there's Ashton Schleitz in the background. So Schleitz, oh, as Mark Arthur makes a big mistake! Big mistake by Mark Arthur! Spins it around on the exit of turn one out the exit of pit road, but Ashton Schleitz, that's giving him an absolute gift right now as Mark Arthur spins it coming down the pit road. Let's take another look at that, what happened there for Mark Arthur. Comes out of his pit box. I believe he knew Ashton Schleitz was coming on his relative. Tries to hit the power too early and it just sent the car sideways. Schleitz himself actually made a mistake. And wow, a gift was absolutely given there to Ashton Schleitz. There goes Tyler Gary as well. Mark Arthur has some work to do now. So, watch this top three now. Ashton Schleitz, your leader. Tyler Gary in second. Mark Arthur now down to third after that spin on the exit of pit road. We have Blake Decker in pit road again. The Ty Marasco just won that race through the pit stops by default. Let's take a look and see what happened here. I believe Decker might have got a penalty. And he did. He was 18 seconds in his pit box. And look at that, he's going to go a lap down as the race leader. Asher Slice is going to come through. He's going to pass two people at the same time. Slice is not wasting any time right here, as he knows Gary's going to be coming down at him very quickly as James Bunce goes through the bus stop in the wrong way, and Tyler Gary's going to catch him in the wrong place. Oh, all the action's going on here. Let's go back to what happened there with Asher Slice. You see Blake Decker coming out of pit road and James Bunce right in front of him. And Asher Slice wants to get by in the worst kind of way. Gets up through the S's and almost losing, going over the rubble strips. It's great by both of them. And he does get by both of them. So great moves and great awareness there by the guys next to him to let him by. So Asher Slice absolutely on the binders here right now. And wow, what a race we've seen so far. Adam Chapman there in P6. He's got Sam Baumgarten right behind him. No love lost between these two so far in the race on lap one. They came together. That caused Sam Baumgarten to spin out on the entrance to the boot. Now they find themselves back together again. Baumgarten's going to make a move down there into turn one. Can he make it stick though? It's a big braking section down towards the turn one complex and gets it right. Absolutely great move there by Baumgarten. A textbook pass there by the 53. But as things sit right now, we have only 10 drivers left on the lead lap. Kyle Wellman is one of them as he goes off into the runoff area outside of turn one, but Asher Slice is right behind him. Slice is still your leader. He's 3.4 seconds to the good ahead of Tyler Gary. And look at the gap between Gary and Arthur now. Arthur is on it, trying to close that gap between himself and the 26. There is Gary, there is Arthur. As Tex Perry's going to make his way into pit road. This is his second stop now. Tried to play the long game as Ty Marasco goes around him. Tom Baumgarten's right behind Ty Marasco actually. So these three drivers actually quite close together in the end as Tyler Duggan makes his way by as well. Dalton Kilroy will be the next one to go through as Kyle Wellman will be the next one to pass Tex Perry on this one as well. So Perry getting those those right sides on. He's taking a fast repair by the looks of things, so he'll be back up to speed again once we get going again as Blake Decker gets out of the way of Tyler Gary. Lastly, because Tex Perry only just coming out of pit road right there, just ahead of James Bunce. There is Bunce there coming up through the S's. Doug Thompson making his way into pit road for his second stop now. Kevin O'Brien is out on track as well. He's one lap down in P13 after just passing Doug Thompson. As we're about to hit halfway, and we will be going for a side-by-side commercial at the halfway point, so make sure you're ready yourselves for that one. Let's go back to Mark Arthur. He's trying to chase down Tyler Gary. And the gap is staying as it is. It's not really going down between the 12 and the 26. As Ashton Schleicher trying to get by Kyle Wellman now to try and get a position from him. And Wellman loses and collects Schleicher. That's going to hurt Schleicher and then Tyler Gary getting to the back of him now. Look at the damage on the front of that 26, the 68. That's not going to give him a lot of speed going down this backstretch. As Tyler Gary realises that Schleicher is now a sitting duck. And that's closed this battle up for the lead very much, as all the top three are right there together. There's Slice, there is Gary, there is Mark Arthur. Arthur just lagging back a little bit, but the gap now between the top three is 1.8 seconds. Wellman collecting Ashton Slice and giving him that horrid damage on the front of his car. Question is, will that affect his straight line speed, or is he okay to continue as normal? On iRacing terms, that's got to have given him a 4X. So it seems like as this race goes on, the place you do not want to be is at the front, because you get collected or you spin out. That's what I've seen so far. But anyway, Schleis still your leader for now. The gap is less than a second now between the 68 and the 26. And Gary can sense blood in the water. He's not letting Schleis get away, but he's not really closing the gap either. He's waiting for that opportune moment to get by him. Because even though Schleis has got a wounded car underneath him, he still has some speed in that car. Look back from the gearbox, from the rear end of the 68. Is Gary going to make his move now? No, just going to stick behind him into turn one. But the man in that Ford Fusion really laying in wait right now for the opportunity to get around him. This might be the opportunity to do it. You see him gearing up to get some speed behind Schleis as they come out of the S's. And look at Mark Arthur, he's slowly closing in as well. As they get around Kyle Gilbert, Schleis able to keep it well ahead of Gary into the bus stop. Gets a bit more of a slide as the top three are right together again now. And what a battle we're seeing for the lead right here. There's Schleis, Gary and Arthur, 1, 2 and 3 all together as they make their way through the final two corners of this track. And who's going to get the advantage here? A bit of a wobble there by Schleis. That might let Gary in. They're coming up on lap traffic again. That's Doug Thompson right in front of them as they come out of turn. What a big wobble there by Schleis. That's going to let Tyler Gary get even closer. As they come towards turn one now, they're still lying lockstep there as they're right behind Doug Thompson. Stepping out a bit was Mark Arthur, but that's not going to hurt him too much. Schleis doing everything he can to try and get away from these guys. That damage really hurting him now. As they come down the backstretch towards the bus stop, they're still right behind Doug Thompson. Schleis got to use a bit of draft from the 13 as they go through the bus stop. Oh no! Schleis goes for the grass! And what happened to Schleis? He just disappeared. Oh! Schleis is out! And had no room to go, went across the grass and left the server, it seems. But that's going to leave Tyler Gary in the lead now. This is a two-car battle for the lead here. The Schleis out of this race now after a big mistake into the bus stop. And now that's left the race win to be decided between Tyler Gary and Mark Arthur. Gary makes a mistake on the exit of turn one. That's left Mark Arthur now alongside him. And Arthur going to get the position away, but for how long? Because Gary will want that position back going down towards the bus stop. They're going to come out of the S's right now. Down to... No, he's not. He's going to follow him into the bus stop. Try and keep as much gap as small, well, keep the gap as small as possible between the two. I believe Schleis is still out of this thing. Yes, he is. this battle and has let Kyle Gilbert close up as well. See him right there in the 227. You're not fooling anybody with that 98 on your car. Or the 58 on your car, sorry. As he come and put a lap on Dalton Kilroe. I'm sorry we haven't focused on anybody else in this race yet. Kyle Wellman, he's just coming back out on track now after making another pit stop. Tex Perry has already made a pit stop. Blake Decker obviously got that penalty. He's back there in P9. While these guys are battling it out for the lead, we're going to keep focusing on this between these two. But while we do that, we're going to go side by side for a couple of minutes as we need a break ourselves. We'll be right back with more racing action as we keep focused on Mark Arthur and Tyler Gary and go side by side for the first time here tonight.
Racing, you wanted the best, you got him 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
And we are back live here at Watkins, Glen. And we are on lap 33 of 50. Mark Arthur has actually managed to get away from Tyler Gary. Gary is actually fallen right away. That's because he has taken a pit side. We've had full-scale pit stops right now. We've got Sam Baumgarten in pit road. Ty Marasco right behind him as well. As there's Adam Chapman in pit road as well. So, while we're always away, your top 10 looks like this. Mark Arthur, your leader, Ty Gary in second, Ty Marasco in third, as Adam Chapman getting it all wrong into pit road. I think he might have... No, he didn't get in his pit box right. Tyler Duggan in fourth, Sam Baumgarten in fifth, Dalton Kiro in sixth, Tex Perry, actually no, in sixth. Seventh is Tex Perry, Adam Chapman in eighth. 9th, James Bunth, and 10th is Blake Decker. Worth pointing out that this man right here has lapped all the way up to second place. Tyler Gary is 37 seconds after taking his latest pit stop. Tyler Duggan has not pitted yet. Neither has Dalton Kilroe. James Bunth hasn't pitted yet. Neither is Tex Perry. Let's not forget, he's going to make another pit stop before this is all said and done. And he's going to bring it in right now, right behind Dalton Kilroe. As Mark Arthur now brings it pit side. Let's focus in on him and see how his pit stop goes. And look at the clouds right behind him, getting very dark out there. Oh, Mark Arthur making a big pit stop mistake there. Does he get it right this time? He finally gets it right, but he's going to lose a lot of time to Tyler Gary. As there goes Gary. Through turn one, that mistake has cost Mark Arthur dearly. And Mark Arthur just coming down the pit road right now, so Mark Arthur has got all that work to do again, and his second pit stop in a row, he's made a mistake, and it's cost him the lead. So what can Mark Arthur do here to try and close the gap between Gary and himself? The gap is 4.9 seconds, so Mark Arthur is going to be driving like a stabbed rat right now. Tyler Duggan's still up in third place, but he's going to be passed by Ty Marasco, I believe, because Duggan is just bringing himself pit side right now. Here comes Marasco out of the final turn. James Bunce is going to be right behind him, though, in fifth place. So Bunce on one hell of a run right now, still with that damage on his car. But Bunce, just like Duggan, still yet to make a pit stop. But he's really making a good name for himself right here. He's got Sam Baumgarten right behind him. There's Tyler Gary, the race leader, coming up on them. There's Mark Arthur just coming out of turn one as well. And the retirements, as it stands right now, we had 18 start this race. Ashton Schleiss, Kyle Gilbert, Gene Mintz, Brian McRae, and Russ Charneski all out of this race. So, unfortunate for them. Adam Chapman is back in pit road again. Not sure what's happened to him. Oh, there was a problem with Tex Perry and Adam Chapman. Oh my goodness me. Let's go to Tex Perry and see what happened here. Lost it going up the hill through the S's, hit the barrier, and you're going to see Tex Perry reverse it here, and unfortunately Adam Chapman nowhere to go, and that's a big hit. That is a big hit for those guys. Tex Perry is going to have to tow that, and unfortunately, let's take a look at it from Adam Chapman's point of view. Put up the hill, none the wiser, and then, oh my god, that is... Oh. And that was his race over at that point, as Adam Chapman is now on the hauler. And I believe Tex Perry might be as well. Tyler Gary, though, no problems for him. He's just coming to put a lap on Sam Baumgarten, who's currently sitting in fourth place, so lapping up to 4th place. He's going to get around him eventually. Baumgarten will have the blue flag shown. And Baumgarten not making it easy for Gary. Is Gary going to cross him over? And wow! Baumgarten not letting Gary by, and that's let Mark Arthur back in now. As Gary going to force it down the inside of Sam Baumgarten and put that lap on him. Now is Baumgarten going to do the same to Mark Arthur as they come through the turn 1 section and come up the hill. Doug Thompson in pit road right now, as is Kevin O'Brien. Was this a scheduled pit stop? Yes, it was. But let's go back to this battle between the leaders right here. Ty Gary having a very hard time getting around Sam Baumgarten. That's let Mark Arthur close the gap. Now it's Ty Marasco in 3rd place. He is just running by himself right now. It's getting very, very dark out on that track right now. Now don't get me wrong, there's no rain in this simulation, but it does look very stormy out there right now. Look at that red sky. And I think it's starting to get dark as well, so that's not going to help them either. Marasco very slow out of the final turn as Arthur gets around Sam Baumgarten. So Mark Arthur now has a clear run on Tyler Gary. Can Mark Arthur undo that pit stop mistake and get himself back to the lead? Only time will tell. The gap is now 0.3 of a second between the two, so it's definitely looking likely we're going to see a battle here before this race is over. We are lap 39 of 50. Coming down the straight now towards the final 2 corners. You see them right there together again. Now Tyler Gary needs to get around Ty Marasco in order to put a car between himself and Mark Arthur. Will Marasco make it easy for him, or will he make it difficult? It's not really an issue for him right now, as there is Mark Arthur right on the rear bumper of that number 26. Gary gets around Marasco. Arthur's going to follow him through. And this is your battle for the lead with 11 laps to go. Up the hill through the S's once again. So this is nose to tail racing again between Tyler Gary and Mark Arthur. Gary going to be trying everything to keep that 12 behind him. And he does so far as they go into the bus stop. Great racing between these two. Arthur looking to the inside, not going to have the room to make the pass as they come through the carousel once again. Out of the carousel, big slide there for Arthur. That's going to let Gary get away a bit. But Arthur's going to get right back on the power pedal and get their way up to the last 2 corners. And no such trouble for Mark Arthur. He's able to get right behind Gary again. Out of the final turn. Arthur kicks up a bit of grass. He's going to have a bit of speed coming towards the first turn. Down the hill they come. And almost contact between the two as Arthur almost trying to take the bumper to Gary by the looks of things. But anyway, Gary getting away. Arthur backing off a little bit. He's trying to maybe regroup for another run here. Through the bus stop again. We are 10 laps to go here at Watkins Glen. Anything could happen between these two right now. Arthur taking a wide line. Going to try the outside pass here as they go through the carousel. Not going to work. Gary has him covered. Up the hill again. Down towards the final two corners. Up the hill. Down towards the turn. No, never mind. Here they go. Through the final two turns. To the left-hander. Now the right-hander. Down towards the line they come now. Arthur getting a bit squirrely going into turn one. Still able to stay on the bumper of Gary. Some great racing between these two. Up through the S's now. Is this the part now where Arthur makes his move? No, he's going to stay behind Gary going into the bus stop. Still bumper to bumper now. Arthur gets a bit of a slide going for the bus stop. That's going to cost him a ton of time now. Through the carousel, 9 laps to go. Well, 8.5 laps to go now. Gary has found himself a bit of breathing room after Arthur making another mistake for the bus stop. Up through the final two corners. And we're going to stay focused on this battle for a while now. Everybody else is very spread out. Let's take another cycle through the pack actually while these two are battling it out. Ty Marasco still in third. Sam Baumgarten not too far behind him in fourth. Dalton Kilroe coming through the last two corners, and Tyler Duggan right behind him. James Bunce in P7 after finally taking his fast repair. Blake Decker in P8. He would have been a lot higher up if he hadn't have had that penalty midway through the race. Carl Wellman, remember, he collected Ashton Schleiss. That ended his night tonight. Doug Thompson is there in P10, and Kevin O'Brien actually moving up to P10 now. Doug Thompson having a few issues there. Actually, no, Doug Thompson is in P10. What's going on here? Never mind. We'll figure it out in a minute, as I'm not even live, I don't think. I'm not live. That might be why. So, Kevin O'Brien coming out of the final turn. Connection issues for him. He's in the top 10, but this battle still raging on for the lead here between Tyler Gary and Mark Arthur. I showed just a minute ago, that's why Doug Thompson lost that last spot in the top 10. You see Doug Thompson right there, actually. Gary's still leading. Mark Arthur in second, stalking that number 26. Gonna try and make a move very soon. We are getting very close to that 5 lap to go mark of this race. Into the final turn. Down towards the line. We're going to be 6 laps to go here at the line. And Gary getting a lot better speed going into turn 1. Up to the S's now. As we've got Dalton Kilroe going through turn 1 there. Tyler Duggan right behind him. And this is a battle that's brewing here for the last spot in the top 5 now. Dalton Kilroe has been through the wars himself. He had that spin on lap 1 and put into the back of the field. Managed to rebound as well to the top 5. So great run for him. Sam Baumgarten in P4. And he's making a move on Ty Marasco actually. This is a battle for P3. As Baumgarten going to make the outside pass on Marasco. Baumgarten up to P3. Marasco has problems here. I think he might have had a slowdown. And that's what cost him there. So you've had a switch for positions there for P3. And for the lead, this battle's still raging on. I'll keep going back to this as we're 5 laps to go here. And Mark Arthur gets it to the back of Tyler Gary with 5 laps to go. And that's going to be damage on the back of Gary's car. That might hurt him on these final couple of laps here. Can Arthur get past him? Arthur might have some front end damage as well. And you know with 5 laps to go, the aggression is going to be much heightened now. Arthur trying everything he can to get around the 26, but Gary not giving him an inch now as he's going to show it the bumper again, goes through the carousel. Now I've got to think, is Mark Arthur going to try and attempt the bump and run here before this race is over? As Mark Arthur getting sideways coming through, no, he gets it collected. Good recovery there by Arthur as they come through the final turn with 4 laps to go at the line. Great racing between these two. And Arthur gets into the back of Gary again, showing him another bumper there. Mark, there's only so much bumper you've got on that car. Don't use it all. Some fun racing here at the front. Great action. Through the bus stop they come. Mark Arthur. Oh, trying another bump and run maneuver there. It's going to push him wide. Might get a bit of a slingshot coming out of the carousel, and he does. He's going to try and get up alongside him. No, Gary has a lot more speed coming up to the final 2 corners. And into the final turn they come. It is getting dark out there. That is going to be a worrying sign for the people out, for the guys out on track. Here comes Mark Arthur now. Got a better run out of the final turn. Is he going to try the dive bomb going into 1? He's definitely going to try it, and he dives it in there. Contact between the 12 and the 26. But Mark Arthur makes it stick now and takes the lead away from Tyler Gary. Great move there between those two. And you know Mark Arthur's going to breathe a sigh of relief because he's been trying so hard for so many laps to try and get around Gary. Finally gets the job done, and Gary now already fallen away from the 12. Might have burned all the goodie off them tyres trying to stay ahead of Arthur. But what a race we've seen between these two. Definitely my hat's off for these guys as we're coming up to 2 laps to go as Arthur comes out of the carousel. Already got a 2.1 second lead over Tyler Gary. That car absolutely battered and bruised from the amount of times Mark Arthur has got to the back of him here. Some absolutely fantastic action here. Sam Baumgarten, meanwhile, hold on to that 3rd spot. We've got 1 over. We've got a big wreck going on here. That's Blake Decker on his roof. And very, very bad end to the race there for the man in the 92. Let's go back and see what happened here. Coming out of the carousel. Ran a bit too far wide. Tried to collect the car, but it snapped on him. Hit the barrier. That was enough to turn him over. Big, big wreck there. Oh, that's a rough one. Blake Decker's race coming to an end in dramatic fashion. Ty Marasco is also out. Not sure what happened to him. And we are coming up to the white flag now, so we will be going to that in a minute. But there it is. So Ty Marasco, let's go to him now and see what happened to him. His face, Kyle Wellman, as he loses it coming out of the exit of the the S's, and a big hit there for Ty Marasco. It's going to end his night here tonight. Unfortunate there for the man in the number 14. Had such a good run tonight, but look how dark it is outside now. As we're on the final lap, how is Mark Arthur able to see? Let's go to his cockpit right now and see how dark it is in that cockpit. Not that dark, but it's dark enough. There's already 8 seconds to the good over Tyler Gary. We're going to ride on board with Mark Arthur for this final lap now. Coming through the carousel one final time. And into the final 2 corners now is Mr. Mark Arthur. Absolutely been on it all through this race. Got the pole and was able to hold on to it up until the first pit stop, and made a couple of mistakes here and there, but able to get it back to the front. Coming out of the final corner, Mark Arthur wins at Watkins Glen. And a great result for him here tonight. What a result. As he's going to do some burnouts right now. As that is your race winner there, Mark Arthur. Wow, what a race. And what racing we saw between him and Tyler Gary for the end of this thing. We're going to step away for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will have the interviews for the racers. We're going to go to a full advert for this one. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Watkins Glen. It is night time here at the New York track, and there is your race winner, Mr. Mark Arthur, bringing home the checkered flag after a monstrous battle with Tyler Gary. And we are Going to reach out to him right now as he's with me right now. Mark Arthur, Sam Cooper Bennett up in the booth. Have you got me, sir?
I do, Sam.
What an absolute battle near the end there. You were showing bumpers. You were side by side. Just talk us through that ending battle there, because that looked like a hell of a lot of fun between you and Gary.
Yeah, I told Gary, like, I didn't mean to keep hitting him like that. It was just like, it felt like he was, I don't know if he's doing it on purpose, and I don't want to put up something on somebody that they wasn't doing, but he was jamming the brakes in the middle of the corner like he was just trying to slow my momentum. And you know, if that's what he was doing, that was working, because I think he had a little bit shorter gear than I did, and it just killed me off the corner. I just couldn't pull beside him. So I was just trying to use that old chrome horn a little bit, trying to say, hey man, I'm way faster, let me go, and stop, you know, checking me. And he told me he was trying to save fuel, but you know, I wanted to go, and it's not many places to pass. And when he was doing that, it was just killing any kind of runs I could get off the corner, and it was like all I could do. And then at the end, I just seen that other car up there slow. I just tried to use it as a pick. Absolutely.
And you talk about that you were much faster in this race, and you proved that in the early part of the race. You were absolutely pulling away from Ashton Schleiss and the people behind you. Unfortunately, it didn't come without its mistakes, though. A big mistake on the exit of the first pit road after the first pit stop. Just talk us through that.
Oh, I'm an awesome guy in the pits. If I hit my pit and don't overshoot it, then I spin out coming out of the pits. And then the second pit I came in, I was too far to the right, which I was way left, so I don't know why in the hell it had me too far to the right. But I backed up and got that one, and was able to chase them back down. I knew it was going to be hard to get back past them, you know, being in the last stages of the race. But I mean, he was making it about as wide as he could. But when somebody does that, you got to kind of start using all of your tools at your disposal too, and start trying to move them.
Absolutely. I mean, it's 5 laps to go. You got to do everything you can to get the win, and definitely got you the top step of the podium, and it's become a very common thing for you this season, Mark. I mean, another win in the books for you tonight. It's got to give you a lot of confidence with the chase coming up in a few weeks' time.
Especially at a road course, because I proclaim myself to suck at road courses. I mean, you know, Gilbert had trouble early and he didn't race, and Ashton fell out, and you know, I don't know. Tyler had to start in the back, Tyler Dugan. So, you know, I had some of those guys been up front, and I don't know about how good Tim Bills is. Has he been here? I don't know what kind of trouble I would have been in, because I'm not that good at road courses. Believe you me. I'm usually horrible at them. Top 5 car if I'm lucky normally.
Yeah, and just a quick word for your closest challenger, Russ Charneski. The first retirement here tonight. Gotta give you a bit more breathing room in the points, I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, but that battle with Gary kind of screwed me up. I think I had 3 or 4 incident points before that by clipping the grass and spinning out, and then I think I ended up with 20 after him and I battled it out there.
Okay, well, looking ahead to next week, we speed things up again. We go back to one of the bigger ovals on the circuit. That is Michigan. What are your thoughts going into that one? I know you're a former winner there.
Yeah, I like Michigan. Michigan's a pretty good track. It's multiple lane track, so I like it, especially that new Michigan where you can run 2 or 3 grooves there. So it should be interesting.
Absolutely, definitely going to be a fun race to broadcast. Well, I know Byron will enjoy it anyway when he comes back next week. But anyway, congratulations on the win here tonight, Mark. Very hard fought and very well deserved. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before I let you go?
I'd just like to thank Brian McRae and Kyle Wellman, my Squatch brothers that was in here tonight, and I'd like to thank Tex for putting this on, of course, and ESBN for putting on the broadcast, and thank My Little Pony for being my sponsor.
Absolutely. Well, Mark, congratulations on another win on the season, and we'll see you next week when we go to Michigan.
Thanks, Sam.
As that was our race winner, Mr. Mark Arthur. We're going to go to our second place finisher. That will be Tyler Gary. Probably not going to be happy with the position where he finished, but he's going to be excited with the battle that happened regardless. Tyler Gary joining me in the booth now. Second place in the field, but it didn't come without its battles. What a battle you and Mark Arthur had there at the end there.
Yeah, it was something. Uh, I don't really know what to say about it, but it was something. Yeah,
And
not a man of many words.
but anyway, starting from the back there, it looked like you had an EOL at the start there, but managing to make your way through the field. It looked like you had the car to do it, though. You were absolutely blazing your way through there. Was that because you missed the practice, or did you just intentionally drop to the back anyway?
Yeah, I was late to practice. I figured I originally wasn't gonna do this, but some of my buddies said they were gonna do it, so I figured I'd hop in with them. And unfortunately, I was too late to practice and forced me to have EUL. If I didn't have that, I think I would have had a shot of running Mark down regularly and keeping up with him and beating him normally. But fortunately, since I short pitted, it put me in a bad fuel situation just the rest of the race, and it ended up costing me in the end.
Absolutely. Well, you ran a good race anyway. You had one hell of a battle, not just with Mark Arthur, but with Ashton Schleiss as well before he dropped out. Unfortunate to see him leave, but definitely a well hard fought second place there. You had the speed under the car. Definitely a successful race for yourself despite the battle near the end.
Yeah, I'd say so. Definitely showing my worth, I guess. I'd like to thank Gilbert for the setup, and yeah, Ashton Dugan for being my teammates this week, and Gilbert as well for the little bit he was there.
Absolutely. Looking ahead to next week, we are heading to Michigan. You're going to be there for that one?
No clue really. I'm just seeing how things go.
All right. Well, Tyler, congratulations on the second place. Is there anybody else you'd like to give a shout out to before I let you go?
Nah, I think I'm good. Or I guess you for putting on the broadcast. Thank you for that.
All right, Tyler. Well, congratulations once more time for the second place, and we'll see you. We'll see you again soon.
Yep.
So that was our second place finisher, Tyler Gary. Not exactly happy to be finishing second, but one man that probably will be happy for finishing third, especially with the first lap incident, will be my namesake, Mr. Sam Baumgarten. Sam, first lap incident there, having a bit of an incident with Adam Chapman through the carousel, but managing to bring it home for third place. You've got to be happy with the end result there.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy with third place. Yeah, I don't know what the 44 was doing there on lap one. I don't know if I came down or if he came up. I got to go look at it. But yeah, man, I mean, once I got spun, I just drove the wheels off of it, just trying to get every position I could.
Absolutely. It looks like you had your fair share of battles. I mean, you had it with Blake, well, I wouldn't say Blake Decker, but Ty Marasco, the likes of them guys up there. But definitely it looked like you were enjoying yourself out there. Was this car, was this track as fun to run in this car as it looked like out there?
Yeah, it was definitely really fun. Normally, I'm not a road course guy, and I never really do this well on a road course, but I had a lot of fun out there. I mean, I got to thank Mark for helping me out with the setup and everything. That way we could be able to pull off third place. But yeah, man, I mean, that was a blast. I won't lie. Even getting spun out, I had fun.
Absolutely, and this has got to help with your with your chase for the to your fight to get in the chase. I mean, another good result on the night here, Sam. Definitely a well earned top three. Got to give you a lot of confidence with the chase coming up in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, it definitely gives me a little bit more confidence. I'd like to get a win and get into the chase, but I got to start showing up to more races. Unfortunately, because of work, I haven't made a few, but we're gonna try and show up for the rest of them, and try and compete for that championship.
And speaking of the rest of them, next week we head to Michigan, the 2 mile oval there up in the Midwest. What are your thoughts going to that one? I know this car loves to circulate around there. Especially around the new ones.
Michigan is not one of my favorite tracks. I'm actually pretty bad there. So we're just going to have to try our hardest and see what we can pull off there.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the third place anyway, Sam. Is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to for tonight's result?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Brittle Business Entertainment and Precise Racing Products, Mark Arthur for the setup, and Tex for putting it on, you guys for broadcasting, and that's about it.
Yeah, and as the words say on your car, you're definitely putting some brutal business here tonight. So well done for the top three, Sam Baumgarten, and we'll see you next week at Michigan.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sam.
As that was our third place finisher, Mr. Sam Baumgarten. I want to get a word in with Mr. Tex Perry. Just going to ask him a couple of questions here as I'm going to bring him into the booth. League owner Tex Perry joining me in the booth there. Tex, not the way your race wanted to end it, but it got a bit dark out there on the last lap there.
Yeah, the clouds definitely rolled in as the later stages of the race rolled on. I really didn't expect that when we set everything up.
Absolutely. But talk about your own race there. Bit of a spin going up for the S's and unfortunately collected Adam Chapman in the process. Definitely not how you wanted your chase aspirations to go in this one.
No, not really. I felt so bad for Adam. I actually apologized to him there as soon as I got out of the car, and he's like, "Dude, don't worry about it." But I told him, I'm like, "Man, I'd screwed up my pit stop. I was trying to chase down Dalton there. I think I could have got up if I'd have got up to him. I think I could have got around him, at least run with him. But yeah, I screwed up my pit stop, got a little too far to the right, and then I come out on cold tires trying to make up time, and I come through the S's and got up to the top of the hill, and it just come around on me. And so I'm sitting here, watching the track, watching my relative, and next thing you know, I got Adam in my passenger side door.
Yeah, unfortunately, definitely a unfortunate incident. But the race on the whole, very successful. A lot of big battles on the track. You look like you were in a couple of your own in the mean green machine, as I like to call it, when you bring it out to the track. Just talk about the race on the whole. Definitely a successful event, especially with 18 drivers on the track.
Race as a whole, personally, I was having fun. I was really enjoying myself, but yeah, as a race as a whole, not bad. I think next year we're probably going to look at starting a little earlier sim time. Like I say, I really didn't expect all the clouds at the start of the race, and I think mainly that was what really got us was all the clouds covering up the clear sky. So it just got way dark way early.
Absolutely. Well, looking ahead to next week, Tex, we head to Michigan when Byron Rodney returns to the booth. Definitely been an exciting one in the past for this league. I'm guessing you're anticipating another exciting one this time around.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a good race. I actually missed Michigan earlier this year, but I'm definitely looking forward to going back and hoping we can come out with at least squeak in maybe with a top 5.
Yeah, and that will help definitely towards your chase. Just want to give a quick plug to the chase. It's only a few weeks away now. You're in the running for obviously you're definitely safe into the chase spots now with only a few races left, but definitely a lot of battles going around, especially with the championship, the regular season championship at stake. Mark Arthur with that win tonight, definitely starting to pull away. But it's definitely you've got to get people tuned in for this chase period that's coming up in September.
Oh yeah, when we get into the playoffs, we got 4 points races left till we get into the playoffs, and then we got a fun week where we're actually going to take the trucks to Eldora right before we go to the Brickyard, and just to have some fun. But yeah, the points races are definitely heating up. Top 3, top 4, all right there together within actually maybe just a little over a race or two between the top 4, but all through the playoff standings so far down to the top 16. And Mike Tipton, things are really heating up. There's still some spots up for grabs, mathematically, definitely up to about 13th, 14th. As long as guys, continue to show up, we'll continue to do this, and guys keep running. And hopefully, we'll find out when we get to Homestead who's going to get the championship ring this year.
Absolutely, and definitely going to be the reigning champion. Obviously, not going to be here for this one, so we will be crowning a brand new champion. Tex, thanks for coming to giving me a chat there. I know it wasn't really your choice, but anyway, I know you enjoyed chatting to us anyway. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to before I let you go?
I definitely got to give a shout out to all the guys that actually show up week in, week out when we put this on. These guys do such a great job with their racing. Granted, accidents happen. It's racing, but these guys do such a great job every week. Big shout out to you and ESBN as a whole for coming in every week, putting this on, getting it out to the masses. And other than that, I can't say enough about these guys. I really can't.
Absolutely. Well, Tex, congratulations on another successful event, and we'll see you next week at Michigan.
Thank you, Sam.
Tex Perry, bit unhappy with the way the race ended, and very apologetic to the man that you collected in that. That was Adam Chapman, but definitely a good race here tonight on the whole. Very dark out there right now, but what a race we've seen out there tonight. As we are going to go to our results for this one, and hopefully it'll play properly this time. And there we go. We got our music up and running properly this time. So for this one, we are going to go to the results of tonight's race, and coming home with the win, 9 seconds clear, is Mark Arthur, and coming home with second place after a battle with Mark Arthur is Tyler Gerry. Sam Baumgarten comes home in third. Very happy with that one. Tyler Duggan in fourth, and Dalton Kilroe, a first lap spin himself, still holds on to a top 5. James Bunt's happy with sixth place. He is ESBN driver of the night. Definitely a good result for him. Kyle Wellman coming home in 7th after a troubled night. Doug Thompson in 8th, 3 laps down. Kevin O'Brien sits inside the top 10. And Blake Decker rounds out your top 10 in that P10 spot. In P11, we'll go to Ty Marasco after a late race crash. Tex Perry in 12th place. We just spoke to him there. Adam Chapman got collected in the wreck that Tex Perry was in. He has to settle for P13. Ashton Schleiss led for a lot of the last, but unfortunately came unstuck through the bus stop. He ended up leaving the server very suddenly. He comes home in P14, and Kyle Gilbert, a difficult night for him. He has to settle for P15. Gene Mintz in 16th. Russ Charneski, one of the the points contenders coming into tonight. He had to settle for 17th in early retirement, and Brian McRae, winner from last week, has to settle for P18. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Looking ahead on the schedule, tomorrow night we have the return of the Top Fuel Summer Light Series. Remember, Adam Chapman will be in the booth with you for that one as they go to Phillip Island in sunny Australia. And I will be in the booth also as Sim Racing Authority returns, and we go to Delaware and Dover. The Monster Mile going to be one hell of a track to visit for that one. Monday we're back with Paskey's and the Truck Series, and then Wednesday we go to Charlotte for the third round of the Top Fuel IndyCar Series, so make sure you tune in for those ones. But for now, that's all going to do it for us here tonight. My name is Sam Cooper Bennett, filling in for Byron Rodney. He'll be back next week when we go to Michigan. All that's left for me to say is keep it clean, keep it green, and we will see you tomorrow night for both Top Fuel Summer Lights and SRA. Have a good night.